Hello, I am back for part two of our little bit of an About Me series, or About Us, per se. So I have with me today my mom, Carol Barnhardt, the matriarch of the Barnhardt group, Barnhardt team. So I'm going to ask you some questions, Mom.
Okay.
And we're just going to vibe back and forth and all, get people to know us a little bit more about what makes us us and why we are who we are and what's important and things like that. So, first question I have for you is, can you share a little bit of your background and what led you to pursue a career in real estate?
When I graduated high school, I started working for a title company, and I really enjoyed that. And then I found out I was having you. So I stopped working, and Dad went to work and did that, and I stayed home. I studied real estate then at that point.
And I just want to jump in and say that this was a completely different time. I mean, let's face it, I'm no spring chicken anymore. Back in the 70s, it wasn't common for women to be working, especially in banking and real estate industry at the time.
Back in the 70s, they could ask you if you applied for a loan, if you were going to have a baby, when do you expect to get pregnant. If you're pregnant, they could use that as a reason not to accept you for the position. I remember I used to hate it when they would say, "Do you work outside the home? Do you work?" And I would say yes, and they say, "No, no, no, I'm not talking about home. Do you work outside the home?" And sometimes I would say yes, but then I had all of you guys, and my job was to stay home and take care of you guys.
And that's enough of a job as it is.
Yeah, where I wanted
That's the
to be.
hardest job, I think.
But real estate, I've always seen it as an opportunity for people to be in it, to sell, and really make a wonderful living from it. And I also saw it as an opportunity of investments. At one point, we were up to 15 properties. And then the market changed and people didn't pay their rent, and I got tired of all that stuff, and we diversed ourselves away from it. But it has really been an awesome trip because it allowed us to do things with the family that we would never have been able to do. And it also allowed me to be home when I had to be and to work when I had to.
It also led to a lot of great things just for us in general as a family. I mean, not only are you and Dad in real estate, but then it led to me being in real estate. When I was 13 and you started me working for you. My brothers, one way, shape, or form, they were involved in the industry. My sister, and eventually spouses.
And now I have a grandson.
Right, and now my nephew, your grandson. So it's really become a family business. So yeah, it started out as a little job at a bank and then a title company, and then it's developed into this. So with your years of experience, now you've been doing this for a long time. You've seen every possible change that there could possibly be in the world of real estate and the whole industry in general. So with that being said, how do you stay current on these constant changes that are always happening? I mean, when we first got started, we were still working with microfiche, and we carried around thick MLS books to show people what they were going to be looking at. And we literally didn't even have fax machines back then. So we had to hand deliver everything. So nowadays, the real estate industry is just a completely different thing. Things are just instant and all. How do you stay current with that, with all those changes that are constantly happening?
Well, one thing, I'm a firm believer you have to learn something new every day. And I am always looking for new things that are working. I always take a look at the agents that are younger and doing TikTok and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. Even though I'm not of that generation, I like to see what they're doing. I really, I think the moment you think you know it all, I would wish that you would get out of the business, because we never know it all. And if we always have that open mind that you can learn from anybody, regardless of 40 years in the business like me or 4 months in the business, because everybody brings their own personality to it and their own life experience. And I'm not one of those agents that say, "Oh, this is the way you do it. I've been doing this for 40 years." To me, that's an insult to them And it's also an insult to me because if I tried to do it like we did it 40 years ago, I wouldn't be making any money.
Right. And that whole vein of, never stop learning and all, it's funny because it's not just, you've always taught us that, not just in business and all, but in life itself. And now I pass that down to my kids that never stop learning. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can always go back to school. There's always something to learn. And any situation, whether it's a good or a bad situation, if you look at it from a learning standpoint, then you'll always continue to grow and evolve. So I think that's just that. That's one of the things that I'm proud to pass down to my family too. So, all right. So, what do you feel is the most rewarding part of being a real estate agent, and how do you help your clients reach their goals?
One of the parts of real estate that I love the most is coaching and teaching, and seeing a new person come in with the ink is still wet on their license with all these high aspirations, and then watching them be knocked down a few pegs and get frustrated, and then they grow, they start flying, and then all of a sudden the real estate bug is in them, and they truly excel. And I think that's my biggest. That I like to see people succeed.
Mm-hmm.
People say, "Well, do you do it for the money?" I think if you have a passion about something, it's just a blessing that you can get paid on doing something that you have a passion for, and that's what real estate and coaching and training and owning the real estate offices and owning a mortgage company and all those things have done for me, and I hopefully my family.
Mm-hmm. It's funny you bring up education and all, and when I interviewed Dad previously, that was one of the big things that he talked about, and that was one of the reasons why I didn't want you to see his video before we did this, because I wanted to get a unique position from each of you, but the common theme here is being educated, education, and the importance of it, and talking about helping people and stuff like that. That was the same theme from both of us. So that's pretty cool. What do you feel sets our team and yourself and Dad and myself, I guess, apart from other agents in the industry? And what do you think clients can expect when working with us?
I think you will find that we are a finely oiled machine that has direction. Everybody has their own responsibilities and their own purpose in the business. And I'm a firm believer of making sure that the agents are paying attention to the clients. So if they need a list of homes to show, we have admin to do that for you. So because I want them focused on the personality and the people that they are serving. And I think that's another thing. You got to realize we are in a people business and they can go anywhere. So if you don't make yourself and know your value proposition and able to project that, then what's to make them stay with you if they don't know it because you don't know it?
So my dad and I talked a lot about relationships and things like that, and how we really we look at clients not just as a check or a mark on our goal board for the year. That once we sell them a house and all, we don't feel that that's the end of the road. That we continue and want to be part of their lives and their family's goals and things like that and all. So with that in mind, what do you want your legacy to be someday? When people look back and they talk about Carol Barnhardt and Bob Barnhardt and things like that, what do you want people to remember about you in the future when it comes to I guess differences you've made in their life and with the way it pertains to real estate?
I would like it to be that I always put their feelings first. I try to educate them, even buyers and sellers, educate them, give them all the sides of a situation, but the bottom line is they need to make that decision. So what I usually tell them is some things you're not going to like what I said, and some things you're going to think are great. But if you don't know everything that I can give to you, then your realtor would be giving you a really disservice because you're making a decision that involves your livelihood, your family, your future, and you're not getting all the info. So it's not just having a transaction. it is about truly walking side by side and guiding through the whole thing. We have sold homes to 3 or 4 homes to one family. You know, they started young when they bought, you know, a little rancher that was 1,000 square feet, and now they're living in something that's 600,000. So, you know, when you start thinking about that, you know, I take a lot of satisfaction and pride in that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you sat with me. I know you're busy, but I'm glad that we sat and we did this and we've recorded it for posterity. And I hope that you have gotten to know a little bit more about us and our team and our background. And I'm looking forward to doing more videos like this. And if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to DM us or reach out to us somehow. And maybe one of your questions will be one of our future videos. And as always, if you have any real estate needs or know anybody who has any real estate needs, please reach out to us. We would love to add you to our family. And have a wonderful day.
Have a good one.